Look, I see mansions in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back, and he black, he look like us. I see it, 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 I see it.
We are not a hate. We are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a nonviolent Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone or to break the laws of the land, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5, verse 1.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Hey, welcome to another edition of Precept Upon Precept. We have a quick show tonight. We got a lot to cover. We are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Officer Mikael.
Officer Micah.
And all praise to the Most High like we start every show. Before we begin, hey, thank you for helping us grow. We are almost at 25,000 subscribers, trying to get to 30,000. Go ahead and like our, subscribe. Like, hit the bell notification, share these videos, and make comments. Right up the bat, we're going to go to our first segment with Officer Micah and the Watchman Report for the hot news of the day. Stay with us.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Let's get right into the articles. A lot going on. Heavy fighting rages near main Gaza hospital, and people trapped inside say they cannot flee. They fighting in the hospital, y'all. Next article, please. A monster, super meth, and other drugs push crisis beyond opioids. Drugs use is getting out of control. Next article. Man holding drink cup full of meth confidently lets warden search truck, officials say. They caught him, y'all. He's standing there with a bunch of dope in his cup, and they caught him. Trying to be cool. Got caught. No hope and dope. Netizens say Joe Biden needs to resign following pathetic Veterans Day moment. This dude got lost right at the ceremony. He was in the ceremony. He got lost. Like this guy's funny. Sad, y'all. 2024 poll. Trump takes lead amid growing concerns about Biden's age and competency. He's slurring his words and everything. And this concludes the Watchman Report.
Praise to the Most High. All praises. Thank you. Hey, I know it's the late show. Y'all get ready. Okay, you know how Bishop says, get your comfort food. But I'm going to say this. You might need some caffeine to stay up with us. So stay with us, stay with us, stay with us. First thing we do, after we come back from the Watchman Report, we head right to the thumbnail. Tonight's show there's a lot going on here. And go ahead and break that down.
So tonight's show is The Dragons Sit at the Table. The Islamic world condemns Zionist barbarism. So for those that don't know, barbarism goes into violence, extreme violence. So in the thumbnail, what you see is the dragons of Arabia, the Islamic world, looking on at the Zionist Israel army oppressing the people and murdering the people. This is what you see going on there. There's violence and chaos in the background.
You know what I also noticed? I don't know if this was done on purpose, but this is symbolic. If you notice this step up in stages, look at the Arabs' heads. Look at how you see the first one on the left is smaller, then he rises up, then he rises up, and the one in the back is with the low beard. There's stages of this thing. And right now, sitting at the table. Now, before Arabs, they did not want to sit down. And now they have one unifying factor that their brothers, their sons of Ishmael, their brothers are being obliterated. And the reason why it's so impactful is because, unfortunately, it's almost half are women and children. More than half are women and children. 40% are children. Now, let's get right to the show. We're going to go right in order. There's a lot we're going to throw at y'all tonight. And there's a lot going on. Right, as of today, there's things that are going on right now. We just got some news in. Start with number 1. We're going to touch on how the Arabs are beginning to unite. All right? I got everything timestamped. Okay? Now, first one we're going to go, it's going to go into Iran. Iran, at this rally, at this council of Arab nations, the Iranian, look at that, that's a majestic looking room. That thing ain't no damn joke.
Right.
These sons of Ishmael, the Bible calls them the Ishmaelites, or the princes of Ishmael. They have money. They have resources. But one thing they don't have is they don't have true unity yet. Okay? What did I say again? I'm sorry. Yes, first 3 minutes, please. Can we get rid of the...
we will
if it's possible. All right, go ahead.
Qatar Emir says world remains silent as Palestinian civilians being killed mercilessly.
Now, Qatar's emir, that's emir is a political term that we might say king or president. That's what they call some of their leaders. All right, play on.
To continue with this practice. Thank you.
Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad, President of Iran, will take the floor.
So that was the Saudi Arabian, so the head of Saudi Arabia, and the different turbans that they wear and the different garb is symbolic. Like Palestinians have their own garb, Iranian has their own garb, the Saudi Arabians have their red, all of them wear the red. If you ever see boxing fights in Saudi Arabia, they all have that. There's a certain custom, but at the end of the day, all of them have the same forefather, Ishmael. All right, play on.
Peace be upon you. In the name of Allah Almighty, and praise be to Allah, and praise be to our Prophet Muhammad and his companions. Those who are under a war are facing injustice, and they will be victorious. Peace be on Gaza, peace be on Palestine, peace be on the bloodshed over there, peace be on the resistance in Palestine.
I want to see if we see something. If you look at the flags, they have something in common. What do they have in common? They have something in common. Go ahead, Mikhail.
I see the star and the crescent moon on a lot of those flags.
That's exactly right. I'm asking rhetorically, but you're 100% correct. Because the Arab nations, remember, look up the word Ishmael. If we have Bible dictionary Ishmael, it says all that Mohammedans. So if you believe in Muhammad, whether you're a Shiite or a Sunni, they have one common factor. They believe in Islam. They believe in their holy Quran. That's what unites them. But put the thumbnail back up real quick. This is the part that people are not understanding. What Israel did through their acts of genocide, ethnic cleansing through genocidal maniac behavior, is that Palestine was known about in the Arab world. Now it is so known about that you got people down under in Sydney, Australia, talking about free Palestine. You got people in China and Japan. You got people in Canada, people all over the United States who knew nothing about Palestine. Now they are on board with free Palestine. It was one of the stupidest things that they have made Hamas worldwide now. The ideology of free Palestine, whether you agree with it or not, has been magnified 10 to 15 fold, all right? So, and if you could see here in this picture, all the Arabs, they may look a little different, but they all have one thing. They all wear the garb. They all believe in Islam. All right? Just want to point that out. But it says that the Islamic world condemns Zionist barbarism. And not all, this is important that I explain this, not all Islamic countries are Arabic. For example, the second largest Muslim population is in India, with over 200 million Muslims who are non-Arabic in India. So a lot of the entire Islamic world, whether they're Turkish Islam, Hindu Islam, they could be from England and be in Islam, they're all over the world, not just the sons of Ishmael are outraged. President Erdogan out of Turkey. So what's going on is bringing the whole Islamic world, and later on we're going to say, I know I'm being long-winded, a lot of other races, to include Caucasians, are friggin' getting arrested, doing all kind of crazy stuff. So this thing is getting absolutely worldwide. All right, now go back. We're gonna let play. Yes, please. Sorry. Go ahead.
God will hear. Ishmael is a boy's name of Hebrew origin, meaning God will hear.
You know what? I was looking for something that says Arabs. It's either Arabs or Ishmaelites. Ishmaelites. That's what I wanted to hear. Ishmaelites has to do with, it says, has to do with all claiming ancestry from Muhammad or from Ishmael and having the belief Mohammedans, something like that. Don't worry. Let's move on. I jammed you up with that one. I should have had that one. All right, so let's continue on. It's only the first 3 minutes. Why do you keep showing my face? All right, y'all.
And in Lebanon, today, Palestine is the key to dignity, Islamic dignity, humanitarian dignity.
That's what I wanted right there. That's all I wanted. What the Iranian president is saying is that this is the time that Palestine, this is the key. Palestine represents Arab dignity. And what's happening is when you are killing 40% children, there's over 7 out of 10 of the people that are dying are women, elderly, and children. And that is, whether they disagree with Sunni and Shiite, and he's from Yemen, and he's from Oman, and he's from Saudi Arabia, and he's from Iraq, he's from Iran, they are insulting Arab humanitarianism and Arab dignity. That's what this is about. And this is what's going to cause them to wake up. Move on to the next one. The next one is number 2. The whole video. This is a summary of what happened at that Arab summit 5 days ago. There goes the flags again. It's the same room, same thing. They're going to give it a little bit better of a better briefing.
Dozens of leaders from Arab and Muslim countries gathered in Riyadh on Saturday for a joint Islamic-Arab summit to discuss the Israel-Gaza war. They called for an immediate end to military operations in Gaza and declared that Israel bears responsibility for crimes against Palestinians.
Because you can see,
the Middle East.
Go back real quick. I'm sorry. If you look at how the leaders are standing, right? You have noticeably some have their Arab garb on. Some are in regular three-piece suits, and then you have some Africans back there because some of the African nations are predominantly Islamic. So the Islamic world doesn't have to be just Arabs, although Arabs make up a huge portion of that. It's a key to understanding, all right? Arab dignity is on the line here, but it is an Islamic humanitarian crisis because almost all of the people in Palestine are Islamic. There are some Christians, but they are predominantly Arab Islam. All right? Play on. Yeah, read that real quick, please.
Ishmaelite. The word is apparently used in the OT, Old Testament, in a wider sense, referring to the nomadic tribes of northern Arabia generally. All Arabs follow Muhammad's example, claiming descent from Ishmael.
That's the point I want to say. And also, if we look above, I'm going to read it. It says, where it says, mostly, however, they lived like Ishmael, a wild man of the desert. Genesis 16:12. And also, they were famous for the skill. Okay. So that's really, you're going to find out later on that they are absolutely a wild man. All right. We covered it. It's been being covered for weeks now. All right. Go back to the video and we're going to let it play out.
Immediate end to military operations in Gaza and declared that Israel bears responsibility for crimes against Palestinians.
Pause. There's Erdogan. If you go back, well, anyways, don't go back. Don't go back. Erdogan was the guy in the middle, all right? He's the president of Turkey that said, you never know, Israel, we could come see you in the middle of the night. That's the most powerful military in all of NATO. Erdogan is the guy in the middle. Right there, that's Erdogan. So here's the point we got to look at this. There are different Arab garbs like Iran, Saudi Arabia, I think that might be Yemen. Then you have the back African. These are all Islamic nations. Some are Turks, some are sons of Ishmael, some are Hamitic tribes, and I think that's an Asian. Well, he looks like he's kind of Asian, but some are Hindu. There's 200 million Hindu, Islamic Hindus. It's the second largest. India has 1.3 billion people, and 14% of that are Islamic. Okay, so play on.
Palestinians. The Middle East has been put on edge since Hamas fighters rampaged into Israel on October 7th, killing 1,200 people. Israel has escalated its assault on Gaza, where over 11,000 people had been killed as of Friday, 40% of them children.
Pause. It goes back to, that's when the Iranian president, you don't think about it. You are Arab, you know the U.S. and Israel, you know, first of all, without the U.S., the Israeli army is nothing. They don't have an army. They're done within a day. They have 10 billion a year here. This is the Arab dignity that the Iranian president spoke of. You got to imagine you're an Arab. You're living in the high life. You got billions and billions and trillions of dollars. But yet your brothers who are within a relative 9-10 hours of car, whatever far they are away, and they're living like this, after a while, this is Arab dignity. That is, they can't defend these Palestinian women. By the way, just real quick, there are some of our people, there are some Palestinians who are the 12 tribes of Israel. Some of our people, according to Deuteronomy 32 and 26, according to Amos chapter 9, some of our people are scattered amongst the Arabs over there. All right? And I'm telling you, see, like the sister, the one over there in the middle and to the left, they look like they could be Jake. Okay? You never know. This is got to be wearing at the spirit of all the sons of the Mohammedans, the sons of the Ishmaelites. Okay? Just take a look at that. All right? Play on.
Officials. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, Saudi Arabia's de facto ruler, hosted the summit as the kingdom has sought to exert its influence to press the United States and Israel for an end to hostilities in Gaza.
So what they have to understand is that there's one thing that they have in common that got them that palace, that they have, that they, if they were together as one, they could control. And he's going to tell you, the narrator is going to tell you what it is. And it's going to take more and more depth for them to finally be that, get second edges on deck, though. Play on.
address to the summit, Prince Mohammed said the kingdom affirms its condemnation and categorical rejection of its barbaric war against our brothers in Palestine. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas said Palestinians are facing a genocidal war and called on the United States to end Israeli aggression. Iranian President Ibrahim
Oh, here it
Raisi
comes.
hailed
So now, if you notice, the whole thing seems to be around this guy. And Saudi Arabia got more money than Iran, but Saudi Arabia is really in alliance more with the United States. It's depleting. But anyways, so watch what he's about to say. Play.
Ibrahim Raisi hailed the Palestinian group Hamas for its war against Israel and urged Islamic countries to impose oil and goods sanctions on Israel.
Stop. Go back again.
Oil and goods sanctions on Israel.
Can you hit the arrow one more time? I know.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi hailed the Palestinian group Hamas for its war against Israel.
Pause. So he said hails because a lot of the Arabs do not see Hamas as a terrorist organization. Because remember, the United Nations, it says if you are being occupied, you have the right to armed resistance. Hamas was elected by the people of Palestine. Hamas was acknowledged like 15 years ago by the government of Israel. So now, watch what he says. Y'all might have missed it because she's got like a mouse voice, the narrator, but listen to what he's saying. Come on.
Urged Islamic countries to impose oil and goods sanctions on Israel.
Stop. If the Arabs all came together as one, they can fight with embargoes and sanctions of their own. And that is what they're going to have to do. But the problem is, the dragons are still, they're not getting up out of bed. Their eye is open, they're not getting out of bed. All right? So that was it on that. Go to the next one. Brothers, please feel free to say something anytime. This number 3 is heavy. I met a Palestinian today. I went to looking for a seat for my back of my car because my son makes a big mess. I want to go from leather seat to get some leather seats. So I was going into one of the parts place. I met a Palestinian today, and I had about a 15-minute conversation with him. And I started breaking down the history. I said, "Well, how did you know that?" I said, "I've been studying history." And when I mentioned the word Netanyahu, this is what he said. His eyes got big, and he just got all pissed. You could tell they're being oppressed. He's 18. He lived there until he was 13 years old. He told me, this is today, he told me that when he had to go to certain places, he would have to wait. And sometimes if the Israeli soldiers was in a bad mood, they wouldn't let him pass. He said it would depend on the mood they were in for that day, if they could go to and some of the places, they owned some of their lands. Okay, remember we talked before how up to 10 miles of the wall, they would encroach in. Okay, play number 3.
בין חמאס לבין אזרחים שבסוף אזרחים רוצים מים, רוצים...
I have to, so basically, this is, you might say, well, why am I playing this one? This is the nature of Ishmael. This is a guy that grew up in Gaza, and now he's basically saying, he's basically going against the way he grew up. But the point is, this is how he grew up. This is how Palestinians are. It's in them. It's in them to be wild. It's in them to come out and be that wild man. Play.
בין חמאס לבין אזרחים שבסוף אזרחים רוצים מים, רוצים אוכל, רוצים לחיות. אף אחד לא יכול להגיד לי אישית שנולדתי שם, גדלתי שם, למדתי בבית הספר.
Start again. I'm gonna read it. Exactly, yeah.
All right, you need to separate between Hamas and civilians. That what?
Hang on. Let me I'm gonna read it. That what do they want? Okay. They want water, food, they want to live. No one will tell me
אף אחד לא יכול להגיד לי,
that this is him talking. He's a Palestinian that grew up in Palestine. Watch what he's saying. No one will tell me
לי אישית,
I was born
שנולדתי שם, גדלתי
and raised in Gaza.
שם, למדתי בבית
I went to school there.
הספר, אף
No one will tell me
אחד לא יגיד לי
that listen to this, that most of the civilians
שהרוב האזרחים
are okay.
שהם בסדר. חנכו
They educated us
אותנו להרוג
to kill Jews.
יהודים,
The Jews took your
שהיהודים לקחו את האדמה שעשה
grandfather's land, which is a fact. The Jews did take, not the Jews, the Jewish Amalekites who were from Eastern and Central Europe did take the Palestinians' land. At that time, it was the Arab-controlled land. Actually, it was the Ottoman Turks that were actually in control, but the Palestinian Arabs lived there. And Britain came in with the Balfour Declaration and cajoled the Palestinians, saying that we'll free you from the Ottoman Turk rule of hand, and we'll bring the Jews, the so-called Jews, in, and we'll make sure everyone gets equal. And they bit and they ran for it. Read on. Play on.
לכם. מי שהורג
Okay. If you kill a Jew,
יהודי נכנס
you will go to paradise. So what he's basically saying is that the way that everyone is raised in Gaza, this is his perspective, is that you're brought up to hate Jews because of what they did to your forefathers. Read on. You will be a martyr.
הוא שהיד. אתה
Do you understand?
קולט שהורגים,
We are being slaughtered
מוסכים אותנו בשם
in the name
אללהו אכבר,
of Almighty God, Allah. That's what they call it. Come on.
כל בית
And here, this is the point. In every house,
יש
there is a terrorist.
מחבל.
So that's all I wanted. So the point is, brothers and sisters, is that no matter how, and this is where a lot of you black people, you go off. You see what on the news, how people are dying in Palestine. And it's wrong. Death is wrong. But God put it in Ishmael to seek revenge. He is wild at heart, and that's the way they are in those houses. Most of them are raised like that. He's telling you that. God put just like a lot of the so-called Jews, a lot of them are against Zionism. It doesn't matter. God's using Netanyahu and a lot of the Zionists, along with the Ishmaelites, who have that martyrdom spirit, to set the theater of war. There's nothing we can do about it. I wanted you to see that. He's like, look, because what the news is saying, oh, the Palestinians are innocent and it's just Hamas amongst them. He's saying, no, there's a terrorist in every house. I grew up like that. All of us. And today I met a dude. Today he was the same way. Because they are being instilled with that. Because they are being oppressed by the so-called the Jewish man. All right, I'm trying to cram some. Brothers, please feel free to say
Hey, while
something.
you looking for that, let's get Daniel 4:17 just to back up what Cap just brought out. Daniel 4:17. Come on.
The book of Daniel, chapter 4, and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
This matter is by the decree of the watchers,
Said this matter, the things that are going on right now, read.
and the demand by the word of the holy ones,
Uh-huh.
to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men,
The things that are going on in Israel and Palestine, on the Gaza Strip, on the West Bank, is by the decree of the watchers, that you may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men. Read.
and giveth it to whomsoever he will,
Uh-huh.
and setteth up over it the basest of men.
And set up over it the basis of men. Esau is ruling the world right now, and the least of that flock is in the Holy Land, and the Most High is stirring that pot right now. And it's by the decree of the watchers.
Hey, all praise. That's a spirit. Give me Isaiah 46, verse 10. You might say, why 11,000 Palestinians dies? Which, again, carnally you would say, well, and death is wrong. Ethnic cleansing from a rational point of view, not a spiritual, is wrong, right? the fact that the 12 tribes of Israel went into slavery is wrong, right? But it had to happen. So if, let's just say, for example, and I'm just a mortal carnal man, right? But who sees things in the spirit. Let's say, for example, when this war's over, 30,000 Palestinian men die. Men, women, and children die. Well, that every one of them was ordered by God. Isaiah 46.
Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning.
So the Most High declares the end of times. He's declared the end of times from the beginning. Read.
And from ancient times to things that are not yet done.
You heard that? From ancient times, things that are not even established on the earth and happened yet. Read on.
Saying, my counsel shall stand.
So it does. That's the point. Think about what's going on. We're about to show you later on. You've got people all over the world willing to go to jail. Hundreds of thousands, if not almost 1 million people in different cities saying, free, free Palestine. And the U.S. is still sending them money and there's no ceasefire yet. Right now, they got a court case right now suing Joe Biden and Blinken. Right now, they're trying to sue them for war crimes. It's not going to stop it. They legally can put them in jail for war crimes in an international court. Who the hell going to come arrest Joe Biden? Who the hell going to get through the United States door? The internals, they're all paid for. Now, is that it on that?
No, sir.
Read
and
on.
I will do all my pleasure.
And believe it or not, what you see going on right now, it's God's pleasure to do all of this. And that's why you got to have the spiritual eye, because when you look at the innocent, well, not innocent, but if you look at the people that are dying, it can tug on your heartstrings if you are emotional, okay? But when you're spiritual, you realize these things have to happen. Now, let's go to number 4. This is what will tug on your heartstrings, all right? This is what that Arab dignity that we talked about. When the sons of Ishmael, now this woman here lived through 1948 as a girl when there was a mass exodus, if you will. Not exodus, a mass when they have to flee one place. And Nakba. She went to the first Nakba, right, in 1948. So she calls this the second Nakba. So it starts off, so this woman was born in 43. Because she was 5 years old in 1948. This is Arab dignity. And this is what is the testing, okay? The white man testing the Arabs' dignity. Play.
When I was 5 years old, I remember getting displaced. Our families carried us. And they took us to Gaza. I swear it's the same as what's happening today. Just like they displaced us the first time. They are doing so another time. The two situations are alike. I have never seen a war like this.
So she has been through the 1948 pushing out of the people, and she said this is the worst. She's never seen anything like this. And in order for this to happen, to create this stage, God had to, and we don't know exactly how it happened, but we strongly believe that along with military experts, they're baffled and amazed and perplexed. How could the Israeli guard go down for 6 hours? But the Most High allowed that to happen, allowed the Hamas at that one time to be standing by, or it could have been coordinated with the leadership in Israel, because Netanyahu was about to get ousted, and you cannot oust someone during the time of war. God is behind doing the puppet strings and moving men's hearts, making them do what he wants them to do. Play on.
People are being displaced. And now it's a second Nakba.
Deacon Malachi, Deacon Yahshua, Bishop Nathaniel, of course, have talked about the word Nakba. We mention it as well. It is a catastrophe. It's an Arab word for great distress, catastrophe. And this is the second Nakba. But what I want you to see is she was 5 in 1948. She said, this is worse. And she begins to cry later on. The point is, if I'm a president of Yemen, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, United Arab Emirates, Turkey, and I see, if I'm Islam, whether I'm Sunni or Shia, and I see a woman that is fearing for her life, if I'm in Islam, I'm going to have a sense of great sorrow and indignancy where I want to do something about it. And if you're an Ishmaelite, the sons of Ishmael, an Arab, this has got to make them crazy right now. That's what's going to cause them to remember. 11,000. Maybe they're going to snap at 20,000. 11,000 people. That's not to mention the tens of thousands who are seriously injured. That doesn't count them as well. All right? Play it out.
What did we do to them? Every few years, they bring a new Nakba onto us.
All right, for interest of time, let's go right to number 4. I have everything time-stamped, and it's 0 to 146, 321 to 412, and okay, we're moving pretty good. All right. I've been told that I go in long, run-on, winded sentences. I'm sorry. All right, I'll do better. Play. They keep showing me, that's not my fault, y'all. It's the tech guys. All right.
Analyst Marwan Bishara. Now, Marwan, what do you make of what's come out of the summit in Riyadh? What do you make of the statement? Is it strong enough? Is a statement enough?
I think the statement is quite strong.
Now, pause real quick. This is Al Jazeera. This is Al Jazeera English. And it's unfortunate that we have to go to sources that will actually tell us a perspective that is not thwarted with European one-sided irrationality. That's the best way I can say it. Because Edomites are completely disturbed in their perspectives. Play.
It's quite significant because it does express the opinion and the will of 57 Arab and Muslim majority countries. There is absolutely no doubt.
That's the point.
That when
57 Arab, predominantly Arab and Muslim countries, if they all work together and sanction and embargo Israel, they could cripple them. But because the United States is that greatest of the flock, they all tread very, very lightly. Why? Because the U.S. provides a lot of their GDP. Some of these countries, these Arab countries, literally depend on the United States, a.k.a. Gift packages. So they can't bite the hand that feeds them. He gonna break it down, play.
Just 1/3 of the world states speak with one voice and speak with one clear voice. That one, what is going on in Gaza is unacceptable, that it is war crime, and that Israel's and America's claim about self-defense is not justifiable, is not accepted. And taking a good number of steps, albeit rhetorical and legal, against Israel. Now, in reality, a lot of these countries are not in speaking terms with one another. Some of these leaders
So
don't
you hear
even...
that? See that? Give me that second edges. That's the point. I'm telling y'all. Out of the 57 predominantly, a majority Islamic countries, he's telling you they were never together. So by Israel doing this, this is almost pretty much the first time in history all of them agree. They all agree on one thing. Read that.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 29. were the nations of the dragons of Arabia.
The nations of the dragons of Arabia. He just mentioned there's 57. Now, I don't know how many of them. Some are not all Arabic, but they have one thing in common. They believe in Islam and they believe in the Mohammedans, right? Read on.
Shall come out with many chariots.
Okay.
And the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth.
That's the key word, the multitude of them. Meaning to have the multitude of them, they've got to come together. Read on.
That all they which hear them fear and tremble.
Right now, nobody's scared of the Arabs. Nobody's trembling. Isolated incidents of C4 strapped to their chest. Yes, it is scary to crowds, but they're not shaking nations yet. Read on.
Also, the Carmanians raging in wrath.
I'm gonna stop with that. Let's go back and we can jump to 321 to 412.
Materialized by a good number of countries who are serious about putting pressure on Israel and the United States. Those countries who normalized relations could now say, we're going to sever relations with Israel because there is 57 countries behind us who all say what Israel is doing is war crimes. We cannot continue to have diplomatic relations.
So he's saying the first step, if all 57 of those countries sever diplomatic relations with Israel, then he mentioned if they all would sanction and embargo Israel for trade, right? But now I'm telling you, play on.
The problem with the Arab world and the problem with the expectations of the Arab world is that they are fanciful. The Arab world is not united, and a good number of it is impotent, and a good number of it also is destroyed by civil wars. Those
You
who
heard that? He said they're impotent, and a good number are destroyed by civil wars. Why? Because the United States, we've done in previous shows, they send in jackals to destabilize. They send in CIA ops and other alphabet agencies to disrupt and create civil unrest in these nations. It is by design. Play on.
do not want to take action. Those who are not capable can say all they want, but they are not effective at the end of the day. So it is a poor, and I don't want to say desperate, but it is a poor situation in the Arab world. Now, once again, because of how poor the situation.
All right, all praises. Let's go to that last one, and then we'll go to the Bible verses. We're going to be quick tonight, y'all. We're going to do a quick Bible verse. We're going to do a quick Lord back because I want to get to this stuff. Play 435. We'll go right to the Bible verse after this.
Hours had a very strong warning for Hezbollah in Lebanon, saying that civilians, if Lebanon tries to join the war, that the civilians will be the first to pay the price.
War criminals, honestly.
Now,
I mean,
now stop. These are leaders of the Israeli government. Literally, openly have said, if Lebanon gets into this war on the north side, the north border, that the Lebanese civilians will pay the price. I'm telling now what the host is about to say. He's just coming right out. He said these are war criminals, and they are. Because right now, y'all can look it up. There's a white woman who is bringing, it's through the state or I think it's the federal, bringing international law, war crime charges of genocide on Joe Biden, and legally, and also, and how successful it's going to be, and also Mr. Secretary of Defense Blinken. They are bringing lawsuits on them because they are literally committing war crimes right now. They've got they got little evidence. If there was an international court powerful, they should already be in jail right now. But again, Judges 9, you know what happens. They rule the earth. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Play.
I'm not giving my opinion. Israeli leaders are acting like war criminals. They used to be political criminals, now they become war criminals. Because when one Israeli president says there are no innocents in Gaza, all Palestinians hold responsibility for October 7th.
Pause. That's exactly what was said. He literally said that. He has made, for example, if I say, all black people, 3 black people go steal 3 cars. And then I say, all black people, I'm going to kill all black people because we got people that are thieves. So all black people got to die because those people stole the car. That's what Esau used to do. That's what they're doing now. If the Hezbollah attacks in the North Front, all Lebanese citizens have to pay. That's a war crime. That's a warlord. That's a war criminal. Okay? Play on. We're going to go to break.
One calls them, this very particular person, the defense minister calls them human animals. And then he said...
The defense minister for the country of Israel called a race of people. Read it again. Play it again. And you can go look it up. Play it again.
Palestinians hold responsibility for October 7. When another one calls them, this very particular person, the defense minister calls them human animals. And then he says...
It's on record that they call Palestinians, not Hamas, because remember the whole thing is about getting Hamas. We got to get Hamas. We got to get the bad guys. He's calling the Palestinians human animals. That explains why you have a terrorist, this is quote unquote, in each house, because they are truly being oppressed. God is allowing these Israelis to oppress the Palestinians so they can bring out their wild nature, so they can create the theater for World War III.
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to Isaiah 46. We read verse 10. I want to read verse 11 because verse 10 says, declaring the end from the beginning and from ancient times of things that are not yet done, my counsel will stand, and he's doing this pleasure. Read verse 11. Watch this.
Isaiah chapter 46, verse 11. Calling a ravenous bird from the east.
Calling the ravenous bird from the east. That ravenous bird is Israel. Now watch this.
The man that executed my counsel.
And the man that executed his counsel in the time of Isaiah, this was Cyrus, the king of Persia. Who is Persia now? Iran. Read.
From a far country. Yea, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have purposed it. I will also do it.
This is of the Most High. It's proving it throughout the scriptures. He's showing you the nations that he's using, the nations that are at play, the puzzle pieces.
And that's why we got to sit back. We don't take sides. We don't like to see innocent. No one wants to see child killed. No one wants to see that. But we have the spirit. We at 6:25 yet? We're going to finish this out, and we're going to go to Bible verses.
We will treat people in Lebanon the same way. Basically, the Israelis are taking a position whereby women, children, men, and their animals could be slaughtered in revenge to what happened October 7th. These are war crimes. This is genocide. There's intent and there is action. And it's very dangerous. And that's why I said on a number of occasions here on our channel that what worries me now is not the fact that Hezbollah wants to, get Israelis busy on the northern frontier so that they will lessen the pressure on the southern frontier. What worries me is that because the United States has deployed its armada to the East Mediterranean, because the Israelis believe that they don't want to be subjected to another October 7, that they, not Hezbollah, they will initiate in some form or another an aggression against Lebanon. That's what worries me, because they think this is their chance. Why? Because the Americans are here, the Europeans are supporting, and if they could finish with Gaza, that perhaps they could start with Lebanon.
Pause, y'all. Listen, this is what's going on. And when we come back after Bible verses and from break, we're going to show you some of the things that are going on throughout the earth, protesting the war and calling for a ceasefire. We're living in the last days, y'all. Stick around. We're going to Officer Mikael with the Bible verses.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High Christ blessed. Hey, this is your brother, Officer Mikael, and this is the Bible versus Thanksgiving. Hey, go ahead and play that first video for me. Let's see how you Negroes think about Thanksgiving. Hey, shout out to the IT team. They work hard, man.
We on Facebook Live, man. We got to get this this Thanksgiving stuff out of the way. Y'all ready for Thanksgiving?
But of course.
Oh, yeah.
Get it.
Yeah.
Turkeys is ordered. Sides is being plotted.
Oh, yeah.
Boy,
Absolutely.
I'm about to get down. I'm going to go and throw in that lobster salad for this thing. Just give him something special on the side.
Ooh, the one you made us?
Yep.
Ooh.
Yep. You know it's fine.
Okay.
Straight from the recipes of Bimini, Bahamas. All right, man. So everybody get ready to have Thanksgiving. I hope everybody have a blessed Thanksgiving. And I'm about to give out the difference between white folks' Thanksgiving and black folks' Thanksgiving. Everybody follow me on Facebook Live. Y'all finna, this is just, it's, can I get the white music?
Let's go.
Here we go. He gonna play Andy Griffin.
Don't
Really?
get no whiter than that.
Really? Whoa. Wow. He said he can't get no whiter than that.
It's either that or like Happy Days theme.
Right. All right, y'all. White folks Thanksgiving. Turkey stuffed with stove top stuffing. All right. Turkey gravy. Come on. Yeah, there we go. Cranberry sauce. Handmade by Meemaw. Mashed potatoes. Mashed potatoes, green beans, and pumpkin pie. And dinner rolls. Sweet lemonade to drink. Water, tab, and fresca. Total amount of guests, 4 to 12 people, all seated at a nice dining table with a smaller kids table. White people, give yourselves a round of applause.
Okay.
Hey. I'm sure y'all Thanksgiving is going to be on fleek.
Yep.
All right, here's the black folks Thanksgiving menu. Give me the music.
Here we go. Hold on. And
yeah. Black folks Thanksgiving. Right here. What is that?
that's G's and Hustlers. Snoop Dogg. Let's go.
Yeah.
People hungry. They ready to eat.
Black folks, here's our menu for Thanksgiving. Fried turkey, baked turkey, roasted turkey, broiled turkey, barbecue turkey, smoked turkey wings, honey glazed ham, baked ham, country ham, green eggs and ham, fried chicken, baked chicken, barbecue chicken, lemon pepper chicken, smothered chicken, rotisserie chicken, curry chicken, chicken gizzard, chicken tenders, chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, Cornish hen, Irish hen, Spanish hen, Hennessy, British hen, roast beef, stew meat, beef stew, shepherd's pie, macaroni with yellow cheese, macaroni with white cheese, macaroni and cheese with crumb topping, candy yams, candy berries, sweet potato souffle, carrot souffle, oxtails, pigtails, ducktails, chitlins, catfish nuggets, whiting, salmon patties, flounder, snapper, trout, baked tilapia, blackened tilapia, fried tilapia, deer meat, barbecue ribs, meatloaf, turkey meatloaf, country fried steak.
Hey, y'all can cut it. Y'all can cut it. So, Negroes is out here having an excuse to be gluttons. That's what Thanksgiving is to Negroes. It's an excuse to be gluttons. All they're going to do is get together, watch football, and smoke weed, and then eat. That's their excuse. And then they're going to eat abominable food, as you can lobster salad. Meanwhile, here's the truth about Thanksgiving. Play the next video for me. The truth about Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, America. I'm Donna, and I'm here with my friends to tell you the real history behind this holiday.
Hey, all praise to the Most High, man. These brothers work hard. They work long hours.
Thanksgiving, America. I'm Donna, and I'm here with my friends to tell you the real history behind this holiday. Growing up, I knew that what they told you in school about Thanksgiving wasn't true. That's not the true story. The true story behind Thanksgiving was, after every killing of a whole village, these European settlers celebrated it, and they called it Thanksgiving. But it wasn't until Abraham Lincoln became president that it became an official holiday.
He ordered 38 Dakota men to be hung for war crimes after the sacred holiday Christmas. We take this time to remember our elders who lost their lives due to what really happened. Usually my mom makes a Native American dish for us and we pray.
Growing up, I would be kind of annoyed that they didn't know what actually happened on Thanksgiving and that they're actually celebrating the deaths of many people and many tribes that were lost.
Whether it's to give thanks or to be with your family, you should learn how the holiday was established in the first place.
I'm thankful for being born indigenous to this continent.
I'm thankful that I still have my culture.
I'm thankful that my elders kept our culture alive all these years.
I'm thankful to be indigenous, resilient, and alive.
I'm thankful for us all to be able to stand together, stand strong, and stand as one.
Happy Thanksgiving, America.
Hey, first of all, there's a lot of confusion towards the end of that with the being thankful part, but the whole vision of it is them rebelling against this so-called Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving. They said many tribes got murdered. 77 million, to be exact, got murdered. And Abraham Lincoln, that devil, on October 3rd, 1863. October 3rd, 1863, he declared Thanksgiving. You know what else happened in 1863? He told y'all Negroes y'all can get off the plantation. It ain't no coincidence. But look, let's get into the scriptures. Let's see what the Bible says. Give me Colossians 2:8. Let's start there. Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Are we supposed to be celebrating this as Thanksgiving or Indigenous Day or whatever other kind of foolishness? Read that.
Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men.
After what?
After the tradition of men, after the rudiments of after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So it says, be not deceived, don't be spoiled, beware of philosophies and vain deceits that are after the traditions of men. Thanksgiving is a tradition of the so-called white man, the so-called European, who's more than likely Amalek. Because when you look through the history, them devils had their hands in all of the slaughter and killing of our people. So from there, let's go to Mark chapter 7, start at verse 6. Mark chapter 7, verse 6. We're going to read 6 through 9.
The book of Mark chapter 7, verse 6. He answered and said unto them, Well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, This people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
So you blacks, Hispanics, and some of you Native Americans are hypocrites. Y'all say y'all honor the Most High, but y'all celebrate the killing of his people as a day for you to get together with your family and be thankful. But meanwhile, y'all in the house fighting over the football game. Y'all fighting over who gonna get the last dinner roll, flipping over tables, and Aunt Jean and Uncle Leroy about to kill each other in the kitchen. But y'all thankful. Read.
Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups, and many other such like things ye do.
Read.
And he said unto them, Full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
That's your own tradition. And it's not even your tradition. It's the tradition of your slave master, because you learned it in slavery. Proverbs 3:31. You learned this in slavery from your slave master, and you shouldn't be celebrating it. How you might look at them and say that's not your brother, but guess what? They've been oppressed with you together, and we are the same people. Read
Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
You can choose the ones that make you feel good because you get to eat and be a glutton.
Choose none of his ways.
You can choose Turkey Day.
Choose none of his ways.
Choose none of his ways, Negroes. That's all 12 tribes when I say Negroes. Choose none of his ways. The Bible is against so-called Thanksgiving, and so is God, and so should you be. And guess what? This has been the Bible verses to hell with Thanksgiving.
We are not for Israeli Jewish. We're not for Palestinian Arabs. What we are for is the truth, and we stand behind God and God's prophecy. We're just showing you the level of evil that the Jewish or Israeli are showing, have shown towards the Palestinian Arabs.
Hey, come here. Ready to break this down, huh? Hey, for sure. Roll now. I ain't gotta be quick. I'm gonna play up for us, man. Show some of the details. I'm gonna holler at you. Anybody playing? I'm gonna lay him down. Hey, man, come on. We got hey, hold on, D. Hey, hold on, D. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds. Tell him.
And to this day, we still can't. Hey, ain't that your phone?
Go all in.
You can tell by my gait that I'm all in. You can tell by my faith that I'm all in. Front line with the truth, I'ma fall in. Even if it's a dead end, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in. Going in, going all in. Going all in. I'm going in, going all in. You can tell by the things I'm involved in. I can lose it all for my calling. If I die for the truth, it's a win-win. And going to the end, going all in. Going all in.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Welcome back to Precept Upon Precept, and we're going to ask y'all, go ahead and subscribe to our IUIC New Orleans page, like, share, hit the bell notification, and comment. So, put up the thumbnail for tonight's show. The dragons sit at the table, and that's what they did at the Islamic meeting, where they all 57 Islamic countries agreed and they condemned the war on Gaza. However, they are not still united. As you can see, the different sons of Ishmael to the left, and you see the Israeli flag there with the star of Rimfam, and the barbaric Israeli army, the Zionist, okay? Now, let's go to what's happening throughout the world. How is the non-Arabic world? Well, and some of these may be Arab amongst them. Let's go to number 5 in Sydney, Australia. Real quick, pull up a map of the world. I'm going to show you this is what the Israelis did not think of. They made Hamas, the ideology of free Palestine, they made it a worldwide household name. So, if we go to, look at where Turkey's at. There we go, you on point. You can't even see Israel, but if you look at Syria and Turkey, right below Syria, there's Israel right there. Now, let's pan back out. We're going to go to Australia. Way, way across to the Pacific and Indian Ocean. We're going to show you what they're doing to Israeli ships that are coming in. And by the way, there's not a huge Arab population in Australia. Why? Because the concept, they see the genocide. We can watch it on your Instagram, on your TikTok, on other platforms. You can see 11,000 people dying. Everyone's crying out, and it's still happening. This is all of God. Play that. Just play. I'm not going to say nothing. Just, y'all, look what's going on.
We are all Palestinians. We are all Palestinians. Everyone, can you hear me well? Yeah.
Okay, so what you just saw, many of you said, well, what the heck is that? Israeli has trade with many different nations. Israel, the Israelis, what they call Jewish people, have trade with Australia, trade with Italy. So there were citizens from Australia on jet skis trying to block the entrance of the Israeli trade ship coming in. People are enraged across the earth. Now, you might say, well, is that the only thing? Remember we showed you before that, I think it was in England, a guy goes into the McDonald's with a bunch of different mice painted like the palette and let him go in McDonald's. There's parts of Asian countries where no one's eating at McDonald's. This is they're going to affect corporations' pockets. Okay, this is what's going on. Go to the next one. This happened today. The Bay Area Bridge, which I believe is in, pull up the Bay Area Bridge. It's not Golden Gate Bridge. I think it's up there was a Kaiser. Oh, God. Sacramento. Yes. Pull up this happened today. Today, y'all. In my whole life, I've never heard of something like this happening before. Not in this country.
Hey, Cap, they took a lot of them to jail. They said, look, we got to make it. They had traffic backed up bad.
Right.
I was reading an article on it before.
Can you imagine if that was your commute home? I'm gonna tell you, y'all got to see what this is, though. And a lot of these are white people, because white people are sick and tired of their own government. And you got a guy who's got the, I'm not knocking people with neurological disorder. Joe Biden has dementia. He's the leader of the free world, if you will. He can't make his way around a local event which is coordinated. This is our Caucasians in this country, and Caucasians are tired. But there's nothing they can do about it, nothing you Negroes can do about it, nothing that the Arabs can do about it. God has everything set up for Armageddon, for the valley of decision. Now, when I heard, I couldn't believe this. A lot of y'all haven't heard this yet. Play. Actually, play the short one first. I sent you a second one. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. Hold up. 6.1 first. So 6.1 is going to show you the protesters. This is in the United States in San Francisco. Is it San Francisco? This is not the Golden Gate Bridge. That's not the giant big bridge, but it is a significant bridge called the Bay Bridge. Play. Pause. Let's soak in the top screen. Look at, if there was ever a term bottleneck, that's it. That's a bottleneck, right? That is look at the traffic. Okay?
So that's not Golden Gate Bridge, but that's another bridge between San Francisco and Oakland, looks like.
It's called, there you go, the Oakland Bay Bridge. That is a major artery that connects the Bay cities, which is millions of captains of cars out there, millions and millions and millions of people. Look at the cars. And the war, it is of God, but it is perceived as unjust, which no one wants to see children die. It is affecting people all over the world. They're blocking Israeli ships with jet skis. People are on this bridge, and listen to what they're doing. Okay, I'm trying to give it a dramatic build-up. Play.
There is no business as usual.
We must stand up for Palestine. We must stand up for Gaza. There's absolutely no option other than resistance.
We know that Biden is in town right now, and we want him to hear our demand for a ceasefire immediately.
Over 11,000 Palestinians have been murdered in the last 30 days. People are still buried underneath the rubble.
How many Palestinians must die until Joe Biden joins the 66% of Americans who support a ceasefire? Shut it down! Shut it down!
Back up!
You can stop it. So I just wanted you to see that is actually on the bridge itself, showing you people were laying down with body bags painted in red to symbolize the death of the Palestinians. Now pull up video 5. Now we're going to break it down a little bit. Listen to what people were actually doing on the friggin' bridge. Why aren't they showing this? Okay, I think they did show it in some newses.
Protesters shut down Bay Bridge.
Only 250 CHP personnel are on scene. They're making active arrests as I speak, and they're towing vehicles as we speak, working with Caltrans and our law enforcement.
So I want to show you real quick. Now I get to break this down. It wasn't one guy or two guys or three guys or a couple of girls and guys. It was a mass coordinated effort where they were in a convoy, or part was in a convoy. Then they all agreed at one point to drive in a certain order, and they just stopped their friggin' cars. 250 sheriff department, police, state, 250 cops. They pulled them from the barrier to deal with this. Imagine if Americans do this all over the country. And even with all the protests, even with all this, they're not. Last week's show was about the Israeli Pharaoh's heart. It's being hardened. Their hearts are hardened. The American people is going to uprise. They're uprising in Britain. They're having mass protest. This is the beginning. We're living in the very last days. Play.
And I'm welcome to take any questions.
Were you caught off guard?
I will say that we were not caught off guard. This was something that we were anticipating happening. We were here within a couple minutes, but they were planned. They worked together. They brought their vehicles to a stop on the freeway, and that got accomplished within seconds.
What kind of charges are the people facing?
That's something that we're going to have to work with the San Francisco District Attorney. We're going to look for the full array of charges that we can press, not only impacting traffic, impacting emergency vehicles, and not allowing people to have movement. And so we'll be looking at what those various charges are and working together to increase those.
What our people fail to understand is that incident right there. Look at that. Look at how much diesel's being consumed, because those trucks, a lot of them trucks got food in the back and behind them. Some of them, like they talk about emergency vehicles. How much is gas in California? I think gas was like $10 a gallon. You really got, and it's hot, so you can't just turn your car off and say, "Well, I'm just gonna shut the car off and just sit here until they get done." You might have children in the car. You got to keep the temperature regulated in the car with children. That costs probably close to millions of dollars. Right there.
Hey, Officer Micah, not only did it probably did cost millions of dollars, but here's the thing. Remember, sometimes people need to see something. There's an old expression, which is probably racist as hell: monkey see, monkey do. Mm-hmm. What you're going to find is there's going to be more, and this is like it's like a sit-in at a lunch counter, but it's on a mass scale. This is going to happen throughout, and guess what? The more that they do this, there's going to be political pressure, and they're still not going to stop. because of the spirit that God put on Netanyahu, the Israeli IDF, Israeli Defense Force, and Joe Biden, because it's prophetic. You can't go against God. So this. I'm just imagine you was in that. You're not getting home and probably till tomorrow morning. Okay, you got to go to the bathroom. You didn't eat, and this is just one strategic. Maybe let's just say, for example, I'm wrong, and it's 40 cars. Well, if they stop the 40 cars, then all the ones that block behind them, how do you get them out of the way? You got to go to the front to tow them all out. And guess what they did? I'm going to save it because I don't want. A lot of them threw their friggin' keys in the bay. They threw their keys in the bay, in the San Francisco Bay. So now you're forced to tow them. And a lot of these Edomites, okay, and the stupid jakes that follow them, they don't care about going to jail. They'll get a lawyer, they'll get out. This is the beginning of turmoil in this country, brothers and sisters. Y'all got to see this, okay? Let's move on. We're making good time. We went to the jet ski blocking of the ships. Let's go. I want to save Scott Ridley. He's one of my favorites. I'll tell you what. Okay, I'm going to save number 7 for last. Go to Norman Finkelstein. This is the guy last week. This guy, he should be in charge of diplomatic relations for the Middle East. He should be in charge of it all. This guy, remember, we're going to read about his Wikipedia, and he is qualified to say what he has said in number 9. So get 8, then number 9. We went into detail. This guy taught international war laws like the Geneva Convention. He taught that to officials. So watch about this guy.
Norman Gary Finkelstein, born December 8th, 1953, is an American politician. American political scientist and activist. His primary fields of research are the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the politics, of the Holocaust.
So, it's interesting because he is a former Israeli citizen. He is qualified. He studied for decades the Israeli-Palestine conflict and the Holocaust, which is what happened before World War II, which in Nazi Germany and the concentration camps of an alleged 6 million Jewish deaths, so to speak, right? Which actually pales in comparison to the hundreds of millions of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that were killed, and the other tens of millions that were seriously maimed and injured and enslaved. So that is, comparatively speaking, nothing compared to what the true Israelites have been through. But read on.
He is a graduate of Binghamton University.
Binghamton
University, and received his PhD in political science at Princeton University.
Princeton University is one of the Ivy League schools. So I'm trumping him up because he is a specialist on the Israeli-Palestine conflict. We had him on last week. He is if you ever listen to this guy, he unpacks things. Last week he talked about how if you're going to go to war, you have to have discernment, different levels, and there's a calculated formula. So if you have one Hamas target in a hospital, there's a formula. You can't just attack if you use the laws of international war. That's why he brought up the point. The Israelis are war criminals that should be tried. Okay? Read on.
He has held faculty positions at Brooklyn College, Rutgers University, Hunter College, New York University, and DePaul University, where he was an assistant professor from 2001 to 2007.
Slow down a little bit. Get the part where it talks about his studying about the power. I want you to read one thing, because he breaks these people down. Go down past family. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Go to family real quick. Yes.
Norman Finkelstein was born on December 8, 1953 in New York City, the son of Harry and Marila
Marila
Husk Finkelstein. Finkelstein's parents were Jewish.
Wait, read it again.
Finkelstein's parents were Jewish.
So this is a Jewish guy that grew up in New York City, that graduated in Princeton, who is an expert in Israeli and Palestinian conflicts over the decades and in the Holocaust. And he just happens to be a Jewish man. So when he breaks down about the hypocrisy of Israel, and we are not anti-Semitic because this is the guy that could claim anti-Semitism, correct? Let's see what he has to say. Actually, scroll down a little bit. We're almost done. Go back to past early life education. I want some of his accomplishments, please, real quick. Oh, right there. Go. He received his master's degree in political science in 1980. Right there. Watch this.
He received his master's degree in political science in 1980 and his PhD in political studies from Princeton in 1988. He is a member of the Phi Beta Kappa. His doctoral thesis.
Stop. Read it again.
His doctoral thesis.
So when you get a doctorate degree, you have to write what's called the thesis, a doctoral thesis. And what was it on?
Was on Zionism.
So he's got a PhD, and his PhD, he's a Jewish guy, by the way, was in Zionism. So this is why they get some of the stupidest people and most ignorant people to interview these people about Zion. They don't want this guy on national TV. He will destroy them, and he has been destroying them. And no matter what he says, just like all these other protests, it's not going to change the agenda of the Israeli Defense Force, the Israeli leadership, and also the United States position to back them what's the word? With ambiguity. There's nothing they can do wrong. That's the word I'm looking for. Now, scroll down. This is important because you can never say we're anti-Semitic, because I'm going to use a Jewish man who's super educated, who understands the Holocaust, who understands Zionism, because he got a PhD and he wrote his thesis on it. Let's read his academic career.
Finkelstein's first taught at Rutgers University as an adjunct lecturer in international relations, 1977 to 78. Then at Brooklyn College, 1988 to 1991. Hunter College, 1992 to 2001. New York University, 1992 to 2001.
So he was a multi-collegiate teacher. And what did he teach? He taught about Zionism, Israeli and Palestinian relations, and other political science. This is important. Read on.
And DePaul University, 2001 to 2007.
Scroll down. Oh, okay, we're almost done. Real quick, scroll down. Stop. Now, this is important. And by the way, this is just Wikipedia, but if you actually research the guy a little bit more, the guy is sharp. Read that.
Beginning with his doctoral thesis at Princeton, Finkelstein's writings have been controversial. He has described himself as a forensic scholar who has worked to demystify what he considers pseudo-scholarly arguments.
Meaning it's BS, and he wants to cut through the BS about the argument about Zionism. Read on.
He has written scattering academic reviews on several prominent writers and scholars he accuses of misrepresenting facts in order to defend Israel's policies and practices.
So what? Now I'm going to read on. It says his writings have dealt with politically charged topics such as Zionism, the demographic history of Palestine, and its allegations of the existence of a Holocaust industry that exploits the memory of the Holocaust to further Israeli financial interests. This is a so-called Jew, a Jewish man, highly educated, is saying that about the Holocaust industry. And that's why you're always going to hear, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-Semitic. Now, all that being said, let's get to the video right after that where he dismantles Yes, sir. We're going to be done in 15 minutes, and we'll go live back at 10. We're going quick tonight. Hey, put it back on me real quick while you do that. I want everybody at home. I understand that all of us have lives and busy schedules. I want you all to look at sources like Al Jazeera, Routers. Look at other sources that are going to give you different perspectives than you're used to seeing. Watch, follow what's going on. These things are happening as we speak daily. This report on the Bay Bridge was from 11 hours ago. Things are going on right now. We do these shows so you can see the times that you're living in. There's going to come a time in here, it's going to be hard to move in the U.S. That's why we tell you, work together. Get your bills minimally so you're not swamped. Get your resources up. Get land. Grow crops, okay? Learn how to can, preserve. Learn how to self-sustain. Don't be dependent on a system that's designed not for you. Understand it. We got to work together, all of us. Work together. If you have the accessibility and the resources to get land, instead of getting the house with 9, get a small house with a bunch of land. You may have to move brothers on there one day. You might have to raise sheep or quail or to help feed or get a pond. One brother talking about down here, we're going to dig a pond out and stock it with fish. We have to prepare our minds, right? Just imagine it starts popping up all over. Okay, you got imagine they did that at we live down here in Louisiana. If they did that on the Twin Span Bridge, that would shut. If they did that on 2 bridges, you could shut and cripple this place down here. You could cripple if you shut down I-10. It could happen all over. And guess what? This is done peacefully. What happens when the caterpillars start to do it not peacefully? Israel, we got to get our mind right. This is not meant to depress you, but just look around you, okay? I like this guy. Play.
For the dismantling of Hamas.
If Hamas has to be dismantled because of what it did on October 7th, then if you take Operation Cast Lead, Operation Pillar of Defense,
So what he did is he tried to box him in and says, don't you agree that Hamas is a terrorist? Now, they don't understand how deep this dude is. He starts talking about the wars of Israeli wars that were called Operation because they were attacks. They weren't wars. It was attacks on Palestinians. And he begins to break it down. Well, if you're going to say Hamas is a terrorist organization, you better say. And then they got nothing to say about it because he taught these classes. He wrote his friggin' dissertation on Zionism. So he started again.
For the dismantling of Hamas.
If Hamas has to be dismantled because of what it did on October 7th, then if you take Operation Cast Lead, Operation Pillar of Defense, Operation Protective Edge, then the Israeli government has to be dismantled 10 times over.
Follow you, but pause. So now, this guy going to run it. So he just said, if you're going to say Hamas is a terrorist organization, he said, I'll agree with you. But then you got to go back to these operations where the Israelis attacked and dismantled and fought with the Palestinians. He said, if that's the case, Israel has to be disabled 10 times over. He says, what Israel did is way worse. Then this clown is going to come run his mouth and he's going to get shut down. Watch what he says.
Answer to the question.
It is an answer to the question.
Because
it's called keeping a single standard. You want to talk about the 290 Israeli hostages? I say fine. But then let's talk about the 2,300,000 Gazan hostages.
Pause. So what he's talking about, we've covered it the last 2 shows. And I don't want to get too deep because you should be. So Theodore Herzl got the idea for the return of Zionism to return to the land. 1917 with the Balfour Declaration, a 68 word that was by Britain. By the time 1948 came out, 90% of Arab land began to change. Okay, we showed you the map of Palestinian, how it changed since 1948. So now he is saying, if you want to label Hamas a terrorist organization, we'll do that. Then you have to label the Israeli government as one 10 times over. Then he starts breaking it down more and more and more. The point is this. We're showing you that elite scholars who are versed and trained in this are debunking this whole Israeli victimization. You cannot, even you right-wing, hard Israeli activists, you can't say anything about this guy. Because he is you. He is a Jew who was raised by Jewish parents in New York City. He studied the Holocaust. He's saying Yes, it was bad what happened, but you use it as a Holocaust industry. This is what he's saying. He's saying that. Okay, play on.
Gaza, oh yes, Gaza. Hamas is closing the gates. I know that. Gaza is closed. Hamas is
love to open the gates to kill more Jews.
Yes. Okay.
Now he's clowning him. So basically, what he's saying is, the Gaza Strip has 2.2. Some people say 2.3 million people. 16 years ago, they control. It's basically an open air prison. They will not allow them to have an airport. They control the electrical grids. They control food going. They control the ports. It is literally an open air prison. So that's the statement he's making. So here's the map. Beautiful. So if you look there on the left, we're almost done, y'all. That was all pre-British. It was predominantly Palestinian, and most of those people were Arabs. In 1948, look at what you have. Look at what they did. They literally took 2/3 of the country by 48. By 67, look, it shrunk a little bit more. Look at by 1995. And how do you think they shrunk it? The guy Finkelstein said, Operation this, Operation that, Operation. They literally used military warfare to create large, huge, there's walls around that. They control everything. I talked to a Palestinian today. Not that I'm for Palestine. He's like, I'm telling you. He said, if I want to go to certain place, I have to get permission to go in my own land. They are being oppressed. They are being oppressed by the Israelis. And throughout the world, white people, Jewish Caucasians are outraged. Doing sit-ins, jet skiing, trying to stop them. You got people throwing the keys off a bridge. You got people willing to get arrested. All of this is not going to stop the prophecy. This is why you got to thank the Lord you're Israelite. Thank the Lord you understand what's going on right now.
That's right.
You got something to say? Because we're getting ready to close out.
I was saying that's right, but Zephaniah 2:1 to show what we need to be doing while all this is going on. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Come on.
We're almost done, y'all. Thank you for sticking around. We're going to have a short show tonight. All praise to the Most High.
Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired.
Read.
Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
So as we see these days coming, we need to gather together before the day of the Lord. Drop down to verse 4 real quick.
Verse 4. For Gaza shall be forsaken, and Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted up.
This is what you're seeing going on right now. So as you're seeing these things, we need to gather together, O nation not desired. O nation, the nation of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we need to gather together under God's word, under this Bible, has his chosen people.
That's 100% fact. Now, I wanted to get to Scott Ritter. It's too much. I just want one part. I want you to pull on number 7, and I want you to go to 552 to 748. A lot of y'all here, Ben Shapiro and these other pro-Israeli activists talk about from the river to the sea being a racial Palestinian slur that basically says, when you say from the river to the sea, you're basically saying you want all Jewish people out of the land. In actuality, the Palestinians didn't make that up. It was the so-called, the Jewish man and the political party of this. He's going to tell what is. Listen to this. So when you hear the river to the sea and they try to say Palestinians are saying get the Jews out of the land, the Jewish man said that about the Palestinians first. Just like when they said about Gad, used to scalp, the white man scalped the Native Americans. Then we did that, the natives did that back to the white man. And then they said, oh, it was them. No. So this is the hokey doke, This is exactly, they get you to think that the victim is the enemy. Malcolm X said it. He gets you, this media will get you to think that the victim is the bad guy, right? Well, watch this.
Because you're right, they cannot, even Israel cannot kill 2.3 million people. Even our brain-dead politicians could not stand by whilst 2.3 million people were killed. So the killing is going to have to stop short of killing every Palestinian. The question is now, how far short?
Well, the problem is, George, and you know this, the Israeli government has been hijacked by literally this criminal right-wing element that is...
Pause real quick. I want you to understand something. A lot of these white people, they're telling the truth. Okay, this is a former Marine Corps officer, combat officer. And he's on many, many shows. They don't put him on mainstream. He's telling you the Israeli government has been taken over by right-wing criminals. A lot of the internal political background, they wanted to get Netanyahu out of office. You cannot get someone out of political office during the time of war. That is why he is still in power. He's telling you this, another Edomite related, the Jewish Amalekites are related to this Edomite right here, to their family tree. Okay, play on.
With a notion of Israel that nobody in the world supports, nobody in the world can support, the notion of a greater Israel, and that's Israel, one that has no Palestinian people. Hamas, and again, I understand, but is condemned for, from the river to the sea, because
Stop.
people...
I want all of you at home to remember this term, from the river to the sea. That's talking about the Euphrates River to the Mediterranean Sea. The Israelis are saying, oh, the Palestinians, they want to eradicate all Jewish, when they're the ones with the wall. They're the ones with the fourth largest military. They're the one that get billions of dollars from. And the Palestinians have second-rate rockets, sticks, and homemade IEDs for the most part. And they're the ones that are trying to be eradicated from the river to the sea. Watch what he says.
That is anti-Semitic. You want to annihilate the Jewish population. But you know who invented it, George? You know who invented it. The Likud Party invented it. It's the original motto of the Likud Party. From the river to the sea, no Palestinians.
Pause.
There will...
The Likud Party is an Israeli political party. Go look it up. They're the ones that had... Remember when the president of Israel and Netanyahu said they want to make the Gaza Strip a parking lot? They said that. So when they say to the river to the sea, in Israeli, the Likud Party first coined that. Now, Palestinians took that and said, free, free Palestine from the river to the sea, meaning that land they believe is theirs. And from their perspective, they are correct. Okay? And it's not any, give me Ezekiel 36, verse 5, and then we're going to close out. I have too much to, sorry, y'all. We read that, please.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 36 and verse 5. Therefore, thus said the Lord God.
Come on.
Surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen.
You ever think about God's mind? He said, in the fire of my jealousy. So what better way to get back to the people that are the lowest on the earth? You create this situation. You harden the heart of Netanyahu and the Israeli government, the IDF. You have the United States, everybody in the earth is telling the U.S., cease fire now. They won't do it. The Lord has got his hand in all of that. He's going to bring all these nations to the valley of Jehoshaphat, harden their hearts, and we are going to see the EU is going to break off from the United States, and it's going to be a war like you've never seen before. We're living it right now. Why? It's all over this land. And this land is not the Palestinian Arabs. It is not the Jewish Edomite or the Jewish Caucasians. It is not their land. Watch what Ezekiel says.
And against all Idumea, which have appointed my land.
Stop. Listen, this is how we know that this is taught, that Idumea is the white man. Who right now has appointed the land? The Palestinians ain't appointed a damn thing. They're in a damn open air prison. Which race of people has appointed the land of Israel in their hand. I don't need nothing else in the Bible. Idumeans, the white man is right now, those are the white men. Those are the Idumeans. They're the ones who said the Israelis. You don't have Persians over there doing right now. The Turks, the Ottoman Turks ain't doing that right now. The Hamitic nation's not doing that right now. The Chinese man, nobody but the white man, and he's the one who's Idumea. Read it again.
Which have appointed my land into their possession.
Into their possession. Read on.
With the joy of all their heart.
That's why the rabbis, right now, you can Google and look it up on YouTube. Rabbis are preaching to the Israeli armies to kill them all. They're inhuman. They call them goyim. Kill them all. They're singing songs of killing the Palestinians, and they're singing it with joy. Right now. Go look at, watch the videos. Read on.
With the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey.
With despiteful minds to cast it out for a prey. They're preying on the Palestinians, but at the end of the day, the Lord is going to prey on all of them. So I want you to see that. Now, real quick, one more quick video. We're going to go to Larback attack. I want you to get me, I had a lot more, but I want you to get me, I want to show you something, the dispersity. Let's first play number 10, then number 11. I want to show you that the white man is divided even in his Jewish identity. Look at the stark contrast between two different Israelis. One Orthodox Jew and another, I believe, the Prime Minister or the UN Secretary General of Israel. Let's look at how they're divided, but they're both Israelis. Play that.
Send us in exile, we're staying in exile. He beswung us not to go out of exile before the coming of Messiah.
Is this a mainstream belief?
Yes. And he beswung us with 3 oaths. Now, going out of exile is a rebellion against Almighty. It's simple. Like if you have a child, he's bad. You told him, stand in the corner for 10 minutes. He coming out. What means that?
He's rebellious.
Couldn't care less about you, about your punishment. I do whatever I want. The same thing. If God send us in exile, we're
Pause
going
real
out.
quick. I want you to understand something. The biggest lie that has ever been told, and this is what all this controversy is about, is that when our people look at this guy, they think that he is the Israelite. And when you really break it down, his people have great wealth. His people have power. They have authority. They have control over, I'm not saying all, but much of the media. What do the true Israelite, what curses would they be under? Okay? We are the cursed ones. He's not cursed. We're the ones that cursed. All right? Play on.
Means rebellion against God. Believers in God cannot do such a thing. We know it's very comfortable to have your own country. But we are believers in God, and we accept everything what God do. The Zionist people are atheists. So they say, how long we will stay in exile?
He's saying that the Zionists, which are the Jewish people in Israel, he's saying that they're atheist, meaning they don't believe in Judaism. So the division that is between the Zionists and the so-called true believers of Judaism. Again, we know they're converts. I'm just showing you that this is the biggest lie on the planet Earth. Now let's go to the next one, and then we're done. Number 11. Look at the stark contrast, because watch what he has to say.
Terrible words that these heinous attacks did not happen in a vacuum. You are tolerating terrorism. And by tolerating terrorism, you are justifying terrorism. Hamas, as the minister explained, beheaded babies, burned families, raped women, abducted kids, babies, Holocaust survivors. And the SG is blaming the victim? You are blaming Israel? This is a pure blood libel. This is a pure blood libel, and I think that the Secretary General must resign.
Stop. He's speaking on the United Nations mic, and because of the position he has, because they're being brought up on international charges, right? And he's saying the Secretary of the United Nations needs to resign. It's absolutely amazing. These people are playing the victim. They really believe that they are the children of God, and that everything they're doing to Palestine, they're immune to, and that because of the people that died on October 7th, not to mention all the 11,000 people that they've killed, but they only see that they're what they've been through, right? So just show you the contrast. All right, yo, we almost done. That's it on that. Listen, play the last one, number 12, and that's it. This is short. I'll be quick. I'll send them. There's only a couple. I did send them.
We're not going anywhere. The Jewish people belong in Israel, and Israel belongs to the Jewish people. The rest of the world, generally speaking, respects that and understands that. And in fact, here in America, there's millions and millions and millions of Christian believers that are very strong supporters of Israel for that exact reason, because they believe that Israel is the God-given land of the Jewish people.
So pause real quick. So again, the biggest lie perpetrated in mankind is that the world believes, and many of our people, most of our believe that those are the Israelites. The Amalekites, the people from Central Europe, the people from the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, the people from Eastern Europe who were set up and gathered out of that area and implanted in 1948 under the auspice of the Balfour Declaration. Those are the people that we, before we learn this truth, believe are the children of God. And that's what all this war is over. And God going to make everything right. He's going to make everything right, y'all. So I just wanted to show you that the division between, some really believe that they're the authentic Jews. Some believe that they need a land, and they're Zionists. This whole thing is just, we shouldn't have to talk about it, but we do. So let's stick around, y'all. We're going to go to the law back attack. It's late. Thank you for staying with us. Shalom. Stick around. Some of it's my fault. It's not all their fault. Hey, y'all, all praise to the Most High. This is a law back attack. The brothers are, they're tired. We're all tired. Get me Sirach 30:25, please. Just give me a heads up next time. But the dead air, it doesn't look right. Read. A cheerful and a good heart will have a care of his meat and diet. And look, all the things that are going on, you see the protests throughout the earth. You see the civilians dying in Gaza. You see black people are still getting killed and harassed by the police. All the things that are happening in this world, the things that you can control is what you eat, how you control your health. The last thing you want to do is be sick in a sickly countenance while this prophecy is being unveiled and you're living in the last days. Read on. Okay, get me Sirach 31, verse, yes, please. So a lot of us don't sleep right. A lot of us eat in excess. We need to eat in moderation. And a lot of that comes from you learning about, okay, how am I eating? What am I putting in my body? The things I'm putting, like in a car. If you have a car that has a diesel engine, you cannot put regular gasoline. So if your body requires certain foods to put in, you're not doing it, you're going to poison, you're going to corrupt that body. The Lord tells you what to do. And there's programs out there for you lard asses to lose weight. Okay, we got brothers that are losing weight, that are reversing diabetes 2, reversing insulin resistance, curing themselves of other ailments by getting healthy. And one of the benefits of getting healthy and eating is you will lose weight. That's one of the small benefits. Fat is not terrible. Fat is actually set up to help you. You have to figure out what works for you. And the Bible's telling you what to do. Okay, we got programs to help you brothers and sisters out there. A lot of you just rebellious. You don't want help. You want to be a victim in your own mind. And I don't feel guilty at all. All right, so look, read on.
He riseth early, and his wits are with him.
Come on.
But the pain of watching, and cholera, and pangs of the belly are with an unsatiable man.
With an unsatiable man. Because why? You're not eating the foods you need to, and you're eating carbs and a lot of processed food, so you're insatiable. You're not getting the minerals and vitamins, so you eat more of the same thing. That's why we are the most obese country on the planet Earth. Look at the obesity rates. It's ridiculous even compared to 3 decades ago. Can you do something about it? Yes, you can. All it takes is the changing of your mind. So that we're going to make time tonight, y'all. Listen, we're going to hit 2 videos. Now we're going to have a little fun. We're going to look at some lard backs. And listen, don't feel guilty. Just like, for example, you get a guy that keeps running into a wall, like the Three Stooges. Why do you keep doing the same stupid thing? Well, you literally became a big, giant, 300-pound lard ass, and you can fix. It took you 20 years to get there. You can fix it in a year. You keep doing the same thing? Great. Comic relief time. Okay, now these are terrible men. Actually, I think they plan this and they do this all out on beaches and other places. So notice you got a couple of human walruses. One is probably 330. The other is no more than 3, maybe 25, give or take a couple dozen pounds. So they're at the beach, and if you notice, there is a man off to the right side laying down, catching a little bit of sun rays. And now we're going to see what happens next. Brace yourself. Play. Now notice the lardback with yellow hair. He did not trip. This is a planned, coordinated lard attack. Okay? Play it again. That's about 650 that just hit him. God, that lard bag. Oh, my Lord, man. You got to work to get that fat, bro. That's got to be like a perfect. All right, now, it's late, extremely tired, no sleep. But we got one more funny one, and we're going to close out in under 2 hours today. Play. Now, real quick pause. What I was trying to figure out in all my understanding of track and field, I believe that this woman is actually running. Now, first I thought it was speed walking, and I debated it and contemplated it for at least a minute and a half. Let you be the judge. Is this woman running at a full-out sprint, or is she speed walking? Now she's about 450. 457. She's got a gun in her hand. She's chasing him. Play on. Now look, at the end of the day, the sister is probably not going to live too much longer. She's probably close to 500 pounds, and it is funny, but it's not funny. And you know, as the 12 tribes of Israel, we're supposed to be the light of the world. So not only do we have to show that we keep the dietary laws, that we keep the Sabbath, that we keep the new moon, we keep the Feast of Dedication, that we wear our fringes, that we honor marriage. We also have to show that we are in the understanding of how to eat, how to correct ourselves. And a man may be known by his looks. So if you're walking around, and this is why a lot of you ranking men, you men that are in IUIC who have rank, and you've been hearing about it for years, you do not do anything about your physical appearance. Number one, you don't deserve that. You're not a soldier of the Lord. You've got to fix your health. You got to care about purple. We represent IUIC. You got to fix yourself. We have to fix ourselves. We shouldn't be walking around with big guts and formation. That's embarrassing. And you got to do something about it. Thank the Lord I can't wait till Deacon Isaac unleashes on you lard asses parameters and regulations. If they put me in charge of it, I'd derank all you lard asses. I'm dead serious. That's why they got to keep me in the cage off to the side sometimes. That's fine. But in the meantime, I'm going to raise a whole lot of hell. You lard asses lose the weight. 1 meal a day, healthy keto. Our resident lardback Gabe is lowering his gut size a little bit. Asa, not so much. All right, we're getting ready to sign off. They're giving me the cue. Look at the hollow mic. Tech team sucks tonight. All right, brothers. With that, I'm Captain Shem as Lardback Attack. Shalom.
Hey, Shalom Israel. Hey, if y'all want to help the IT team get it together, give arms. Hey, y'all can give arms to New Orleans so we can hire some new tech team members at IUIC.NewOrleans at IsraelUnite.org. Hey, also give arms to y'all local school. Y'all can do so by dropping it in the arms box with an envelope, or you can give to your local school online via PayPal. Also, make sure y'all are giving funds to the Booster Club. You can do so at IUIC.fundraising at IsraelUnite.org. We have been going throughout the four corners of the earth. We have men in places you would not believe right now. Also, make sure y'all are giving to the Land Fund. You can do so via PayPal at IsraelUnite.org. Make sure you label it land. That land is going to come in handy one day.
All praise to the Most High. We're right at 2 hours. All praises. Thank you for staying with us. It's late. Make sure you subscribe to our IUIC New Orleans YouTube page. Like, share, comment. Help us to grow and watch. Watch and pray. With that, we are your hosts. My name is Captain Shem.
Also Mikael.
Also Micah.
And in 2 hours, we out. Shalom.
Judo blood. I see. Look, I see matches in the kingdom. I see hunters slaying demons. I see fire on this earth coming down like Hiroshima. I see prophets rising up, prophesying scriptures cut. I see Christ, he coming back, and he black, he look like us. I see it, I see it, I see it.